I got myself a new robot vacuum. Yeah, I know we reviewed a few of them in the past, but this one is the OG that made robot vacuums a desirable household item, iRobot. You might not recognize the name immediately, so I'll tell you the name of that robot vacuum, which is the Roomba. Yes, it's the iRobot Roomba J7 Plus, and it's my first time interacting with this brand's robot vacuums, and I'm curious, how clean can it actually get compared to what I've used in the past? Is it better? Is it worth the price of 6,299 ringgit retail? And I have all of these answers to these questions, and I've been using this vacuum for the past 3 weeks, so let's begin with the review. Firstly, when we get the robot vacuum, we have the box with everything nicely laid out inside. Everything else is nicely segregated and labeled, and they also included a bunch of stuff. I want to highlight a few of them here. So we got a sample bottle of hard floor cleaning agent, 2 mops that can be washed and reused, a spare filter inside that is surprisingly small, and also a spare sweeper in case anything goes wrong with the current one or in case of just wear and tear. Now I want to talk about the dock first. It looks really sleek, and one might think that this is part of some fancy home interior designer piece of furniture, and there is a piece of leather-like flap that you can pull up and reveal the vacuum bag inside. It's a simple assembly, and there is also another spare vacuum bag inside as well. Nice of them to just put them in a dock, because otherwise I would just lose them. There is also something that looks like a QR code on the dock itself. First of all, it is not actually a QR code, but it is important to the robot vacuum's functionality, and we'll talk about this later. The robot vacuum itself is very sleek in terms of design, and the first thing that I realized is the lack of an upper piece that I've seen on many other robot vacuums, so it can actually go underneath some spaces, actually lower spaces, so that's good. But that also means that this robot vacuum does not have a LiDAR sensor for ease of mapping or presence detection. Time for a pop quiz then. How does the robot vacuum actually return back to the dock? Well, that is thanks to the QR code thing that is on the dock itself. This is actually called a fiducial, and it is used in many other 3D mapping technology. So when the camera of the robot vacuum sees this fiducial, it will align itself and then park according to the position of the fiducial. This is a very smart way of doing this, and yeah, I really like it. The mop assembly is also very different. It is attached to the top instead, and there is a piece of alignment tool in the middle so it won't get misaligned when it is actually mopping or when you reinstall it. I wish other robot vacuum brands would do this too actually. Now, to fill in the water tank, it's pretty simple. Just press this button and then the entire container swivels out from the front. Filling in water and whatnot is as simple as ever, so I'm not really sure what to see here. You can access the filter by popping out this piece as well, which is real simple. Another thing I want to highlight here is the ease of servicing the robot vacuum. You can easily remove the sweeper by just unscrewing, and then the entire piece comes out in one go. It is important as the sweeper will degrade over time and hair can also get tangled around the axles, so do clean that out occasionally. Surprisingly, this robot vacuum also uses the dual rubber roller design. It should help in terms of cleanliness, and it can be taken out easily as well. All of the consumable parts are available for sale, and from what I can find, they are pretty cheap and also widely available as well. So that's great news for everyone. After getting everything set up, I just press the go button and let the robot vacuum do its thing. I've used it about once every 2 days, totaling up to around 10 times of usage I think, and every time I let it run, my mom will just say one thing: wow, the floor is really clean. And yeah, my mom is my co-reviewer for this robot vacuum. She said that this robot vacuum is cleaner than the previous one that we had, and maybe that is due to the presence of 2 rubber rollers that is working in opposite directions, so it can actually, I don't know how you can see this, it's kind of like a pincher, and it pinches all of the dust to go inside the dustbin of this robot vacuum, and also the design of the mop as well. Since the mop swivels from the top to the bottom, it gets pressed down onto the floor, and that creates extra downward force. Once it detects a carpet though, the mop actually returns to the top, hence keeping the carpet entirely dry. Now, since this robot vacuum doesn't have a LiDAR sensor, everything has to be done via the camera at the front of this robot vacuum. It has a torchlight to help it see in the dark, and it does the job very well too actually. However, the robot vacuum's forward force is really strong, and because of my room's very weird layout, it always helps me close my door and traps itself inside my room. I really need some way to stop the robot vacuum from closing my door. Maybe I can just draw a forbidden zone around my door so that it wouldn't happen again. This IKEA footrest is also the bane of all robot vacuums for whatever reason. My previous robot vacuum kept getting stuck on this thing as well, and the iRobot pretty much does the same thing too. I have no idea why this happens, so I have to pick it up and put it somewhere else. The overall cleaning capabilities are magnificent. My mom already said that it's super clean, and I didn't even use the hard floor cleaning fluid yet, by the way. Oh, this fluid is also available for sale in many places as well. Now it's time to talk about the app. It does have a standalone iRobot app that does all the functionalities that we've come to expect. It shows you the robot status, the battery level, the water tank level, which is nice but lacks the functionality to display which part of the map that the robot vacuum is actually located, or which part of the house that it has cleaned and hasn't. The iRobot app also lacks one thing that I think is pretty crucial. We can't share the robot vacuum with other people. If I want to share this robot vacuum with other people, then I will have to log in my account onto their devices. I really wish the feature to add access to other iRobot accounts will come soon, because I think it's rather important since I live with my family as well. I do think that the app is fairly simple and straightforward. There are a few things here and there, and also labeling the map or creating a no-go zone and no-mop zone, but pretty typical in terms of app functionality. So overall, I think that the iRobot Roomba J7 Plus is definitely one of the more expensive robot vacuums that I've used, but the availability of replacement parts while also being easy to replace and the cleaning capability are all very good. I'm very impressed that it is actually cleaner than the other robot vacuum that we've used in the past. So overall, for the price of $6,299, I would still say this is a fantastic robot vacuum. You can probably find it at a lower price. I'll leave you all of the links down in the description below, and yeah, including all of the replacement parts as well in case you actually need them. The hard floor cleaning solution is something that I have still not used, but it is already very clean, and also, yeah, my floor is consistently squeaky clean. I just clean it with water, by the way, which is surprising. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Do let me know if you want to see a video of how to actually service your robot vacuum, because I think that would be very important to do, because, you know, occasional maintenance need to be done on this kind of equipment. So yeah,